Eastern on ESPN, the Timberwolves host the Lakers in Game 3 of their series. That's all knotted up at 1 apiece. Coming to us from Minnesota is our NBA reporter, Dave McMenamin. And Dave, the Lakers haven't quite cracked that Wolves defense. They've been held to under 100 points in consecutive games for the first time since early December. What's LA saying about their offensive struggles right now?
Yeah, I mean, I asked J.J. Redick about it yesterday, and he said after reviewing the tape, it wasn't pretty. And he thinks his team, they need to clean up that area of their game as the series shifts to Minnesota. In particular, he said they need to play with more pace and more thrust in order to get more possessions. They only scored 13 transition points in Game 2 after just 5 transition points in Game 1. But LeBron James, you know, he's the most experienced playoff performer in NBA history with 289 games under his belt. And he said sometimes you throw stats out the window. It just comes down to your will to win.
I mean, the postseason doesn't matter what the numbers look like. It doesn't matter, you know, what the scoreboard look. I mean, what the stat sheet look like. It's about you can win the game. You know, obviously you want to get better. You want to look at the things you could have got better at. You know, when you watch the film the day after or how many days you have in between. But you know, there's no moral victories in the postseason. You know, it's about winning the game and seeing what team can get the forward, you know, faster than the other team. That's the only thing that matters.
Now, I mentioned that playoff experience that LeBron James had. He was asked this morning what it actually feels like going on the road to play a must-win playoff game in a series. And he said it's kind of hard to explain to someone who's never done it before. It's like getting a tattoo. Until you actually get a tattoo, you can't actually be told what it feels like.
Look, I can attest to that as somebody who does have a couple of tattoos. It is very hard to explain that type of pain. On the other side of things, the reason why the Lakers have struggled is because of Minnesota's defense. What are the Wolves saying about maintaining that effort tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Amina, you look at the numbers from Game 2. Even though the Lakers won the game, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves combined to shoot just 3 for 12 in isolation situations against Rudy Gobert. And I talked to Rudy about that this morning, and he said, listen, I live for those moments. He loves playing the best players in the world and proving why he's a multi-time defensive player of the year. And so while the Lakers are hunting those matchups, seemingly, Rudy Gobert says, keep coming to me. He wants to keep showing what he can do on that end. Obviously, he contributed to their success defensively in Game 2, despite the loss.
Yeah, heavyweight matchup that's expected to be very physical tonight out there in Minnesota. Dave McMenamin with the latest. Thanks so much, Dave.
Trio of Game 3s on ESPN family of networks tonight. Let's start with the Celtics and the Magic. They move to Orlando, 7 Eastern, as Boston looks to go up 3-0, likely without Jason Tatum for a second game. Tatum still doubtful with a bone bruise in his wrist. How about the Bucks? Also head home, down 2-0 against the Pacers. That's at 8 Eastern on ESPNU. Indiana has never lost a series after going up 2-0. Milwaukee has not led since the first quarter of Game 1. That's tough. And then the T-Wolves host the Lakers in Game 3 of their series at 9:30 on ESPN. Minnesota needs to rediscover its offense after an 85-point output in Game 2. Joining us now is Hall of Fame NBA reporter Mark J. Spears. And Mark, the Timberwolves dominated the Lakers in Game 1 with their size. Then LA basically reversed roles in Game 2 with their small ball. And so now, what can you share about the course of this series as we move forward?
Well, I think the X factor going forward is Julius Randle. Yes, LeBron, Luka, and Ant-Man are special. But Julius Randle had a great start. He's averaged 21.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in the first 2 games of this series. He actually had a bad start to his Minnesota career, coming from New York, struggled, got booed. But when the Timberwolves were gone, he was out with a groin injury, he sat and reflected and thought about all the different things he could do to help the team, not just himself. Be a versatile player, rebound, score, just do winning basketball. And they've won since he's played that way. So if Ant-Man could bring his game to the same level that Julius is playing, that could bode well for the Timberwolves tonight.
Hey, not for nothing defensively, too. Julius Randle held LeBron James to 14 points on 4 for 12 shooting as the primary defender in this series. Let's move over to the Clippers and the Nuggets now, because the Clips held the Nuggets to their fewest points in this season. 34-point blowout. That's despite Nikola Jokic having a triple-double. But nonetheless, what can you share about Denver's offensive struggles?
Shout out to Ty Lue and the defensive guru Jeff Van Gundy. with what he's been doing with the Clippers. What they're doing right now is they're doubling 3 players, Jamal, Joker, and Michael Porter Jr., and they're daring the rest of the team to beat them. And if the Nuggets don't take a shot off the Joker pass, typically it goes to a second pass and another bad shot, and they're closing in on the lanes, as you see right there. Just masterful defense by the Clippers. And so Saturday, to me, is a gut check for the Clippers. It's like, do they still want to be around? Are they ready to tank it in? Aaron Gordon had ice packs on his right calf. Russell has an injury. Jamal's been hurting. Michael Porter Jr., I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play. I watched him have a hard time just put on his long-sleeve shirt after the game. And now you're talking about a Saturday afternoon game. I think it's quite possible he could be sitting out. So we'll see. Coach getting fired, injuries, issues with camaraderie. Let's see how much the Nuggets care about this season on Saturday.
Yeah. Tough time putting on a long-sleeve shirt. Not so good. Nuggets averaged 99 points this series. They averaged 121 in the regular season, so obviously downfall in terms of offensive output. You can read Mark's latest article on Anscape about James Harden's opportunity at more than a championship in his home city of Los Angeles. Mark, we appreciate you. Thank you.
They're a two-pronged offensive team. I think they got the right matchup. Now, Houston's going to hear this, that the whole world thinks Golden State's going to win. I didn't look at the odds yet, but I bet if I'll have one of our guys do it.
Warriors are a minus 200 favorite.
The Golden State is minus 200?
Yeah.
Wow, they're a huge favorite. Oh, my goodness. They were 200?
Yeah.
That's 2-1.
Yeah.
So if you put $100 on Golden State to beat Houston and you don't get it, you're going to lose $200. That is a huge favorite for a team that is a 7th seed without home court. And I think they'll beat Houston, but if you don't think Houston's going to pay attention to that, he's going to put that on the board. Hey, guys, they think so little of us. We're a 2-1 underdog in this series. That's going to play into this a little bit. And I think Golden State will get by this series, but I think it's going to be long. And I think eventually, Stevie, Winnie, they're going to get a little worn out. You know, got a bad thumb. He's 33, 34 years of age. Butler's no spring chicken. They're going to get worn out as this series and this postseason moves along. I think they'll beat the Rockets, probably take 7 games. But I think at the end of the day, not enough firepower in my eyes, from what I've seen, to go out there and expect them to win, to get to a final in the West, 8 games.
Wendy, real quick, to piggyback on your point, it's the second time in 30 years that a 7 seed is favored over a 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
Even I'm surprised at that.
Let me just say this. In this particular Western Conference playoffs, other than what this 1-8 match will be, which is probably going to be Grizzlies and Thunder, the seeds don't matter. You know, they matter because Houston gets home court. But 2-7, 3-6, the separation between these teams is very narrow. So I appreciate you saying that, Molly. It's a good factoid. I don't think it's applicable. The Warriors are not a 7 seed. But one thing I am worried about, on Sunday, we saw Zubac with the Clippers get 17 rebounds. I think the Clippers had like 18 or 20 more rebounds than the Warriors. In this game last night, we see Zach Edey, 17 rebounds. They out-rebounded him again by 10 or 12. The Rockets can play huge.